everybody. Welcome back to your Full Tilt podcast, Tech Industry Leadership Talks. I'm Dawn Zoldi, your host, and we are so excited to have with us here today Yulia Druzhnikova from FIXAR Drones. And Yulia, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dawn. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
And Yulia, you're coming to us from across the globe right now. I'm in Colorado. You're in Riga.
True. Yeah, exactly. So that's the capital of Latvia, and I'm here today with my team. Just arrived, so to spend some time with them, to strategize, etc. So yeah, I'm in Riga. Greetings from Riga.
All right, excellent. So Yulia, you picked a really interesting theme. I want to just jump right into it. You picked the theme of women leadership in deep tech, cross culture, empathy, and partnership. Tell us what that theme means to you. Why did you select it?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the topic I promote throughout my whole career, and I find female leadership extremely important for building the global startups, and especially nowadays. And I recently stumbled upon the fascinating fact. So if women make up less than 15% of a startup, for instance, the CEO is a man, and he tends to hire men, what is always, mostly almost the case, it becomes almost impossible to correct the gender imbalance later on. So for me, FIXAR is an opportunity to build women leadership from the very beginning. And as a female co-founder, I try to bring females to our team, and we have women in most of our teams. I try to make them visible, to make their voices heard. And yeah, so that's what we are doing at FIXAR. And about the second part of this, like cross-culture, empathy, and partnership. Well, cross-culture, you can't build the global products without the understanding of the cross-cultural communications and without having the very diverse experience in your team when you're focusing on the global market, right? Just having the one perspective. And empathy, I believe that that's so important skill that every leader has to have at work. It creates trust, it enhances communications, and it's sense of growth for the team members. So that's why it's so important for me. And partnership, well, it's all about partnership. So partnership is the foundation of, I believe, any success, especially now they say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it's all about partnership. So find the right partner and you will be okay.
Well, I love all of this for a whole host of reasons, Yulia. And of course, we are in Women's History Month, and just last week we celebrated International Women's Day. And, some people are frankly frightened to talk about, diversity, like somehow it's not, it's like a dirty word, right? The D word, diversity. But, this industry, whether we're talking the uncrewed aircraft system industry or advanced air mobility, it will not exist if we do not attract everybody possible to become a part of it, and those diverse perspectives. As you said, there is research and statistics that show that diverse organizations are frankly productive and prosperous organizations, because if everybody's thinking the same way, you don't get all those ideas. And so thank you for being brave and talking about this, because like I said, I think there are some people that are hesitant to speak about it, but it's just the truth. We need as many people as possible, and as many perspectives as possible. Yulia, I want to take you back to the beginning, really, and talk a little bit about your upbringing, because to have this mindset, being, about partnership, empathy, kind of the global nature of wanting to work with as many people as possible. To me, it starts when you're young. These ideas start forming from either your parents or your schooling or all of the above, your friends, your environment. So tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and a little bit about that upbringing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So actually, I was born in a very small city in Siberia, with less than 200 people of population. And fun fact, actually, about Siberians is many think they're resistant to cold. Actually, we are not. We just know how to put the warm clothes on. So that's what helps us.
And probably that cold shower to close all your pores. I hear that's a good trick.
Exactly. So yeah, my friends laugh at me saying that I moved to Canada because the like it's enough cold for me. So
Yeah.
partially true. It was actually quite challenging growing up in such small community with very few opportunities out there. And although my parents get divorced when I was 15, I always felt supported, and I always was wondering, okay, what is outside of this small world? And then my mom decided to move to a big city with me and my brother to raise to get us more opportunities for the education and career. That was tough, especially for mom as a single parent. Yeah, she did a great job. I don't know where I would be without this move. So yeah, and so then I started my education in business marketing. At the same time, I started my career actually at the very early age at 17, and that was a great experience. So I studied longer at the university because I took this program to have the opportunity at the same time to work and to study. That was absolutely beneficial way for me, and yeah, so my actual first job was in the retail fashion business when I was promoting the different fashion and jewelry brands. That was fun. I had an opportunity to learn from our overseas colleagues from the US, from France, from UK, bringing the new brands to our region. And then at some point, I felt tired of thinking about the new bags that appeared on catwalks and parties with celebrities, and I thought, hey, the world should be bigger. So I ended up with the urban development firm where I was running the whole marketing communications to attract the investors, partners, and customers. And then 2008 came to this planet with all this crisis. So we didn't survive, unfortunately. And I was invited to join the PE firm, private equity firm. That was completely new world for me, new dimension, new markets, new people. So, but that was it was a challenge, and that's something I wanted to take. So I started to dig deeper to the capital markets, to the technology, and it was quite, not that dynamic structure because the PE firms, they do not act as venture capitalists. So I moved to the venture capital world, to the fund of funds, to attract new investors to the startups and promote the technology startups on the global landscape. So that was the opportunity to apply for the internship in the US, to join the fellows and the professional fellows program. And my placement was Mass Challenge. Still can't believe that I did it. I was the only female in that group. And I studied everything, how they run the business accelerator, how they work with the tech startups. So that was great. And then, so it was very clear for me that the tech space and venture capital is something I wanted to be close to. And I moved to the venture capital firm out of Luxembourg. And in a few years, we invested actually in FIXAR. That's how we met with the founder. And that's how all this journey started. So yeah, that's probably wasn't that brief.
Wow. No, honestly, it's a great overview. I mean, where you are today, growing up in a small town in Siberia, ultimately moving with your, single mom at that point, your brother to a bigger town. So taking you back to there, and we're going to walk through this a little bit. And I know we've got some cool photos we're going to weave in too. Um, you know, when you were growing up, right, with your mom and in those circumstances, was there any pivotal event that happened, besides the move itself, right, that really helped shape your viewpoint about women leadership? I mean, clearly you had a very strong woman leader in your mom for her to kind of take charge, say, okay, kids, we're moving to this other town, did it on her own. Was there anything that stood out that helped shape your thinking around women leadership and this idea of empathy and partnering during that
Yeah,
time?
absolutely. So actually, I was lucky, despite the fact my mom was the single parent. She always found some opportunities to give us something more. And we had this initiative in our town. I don't know actually how it all happened, but the US teachers came to our town to bring the English lessons and to talk about the other topics we actually never heard before. A little bit about leadership, about the global agenda and other topics. So that was probably the first touch to something bigger, and that was something that opened the horizon that I never saw before, living in a really small town. So English language was the key thing just to open all of this. And after that, I was always thinking about, okay, how can I get to this, what is this gateway to this bigger world? So, and then I guess I was motivated, and then my mom helped a lot. So that was, I believe, the first kind of move, like eye-opening moments with this American camp, showing that actually, hey, the world is bigger, the opportunities are there, you can be anyone you want. And my granddad actually, he always said that you can do any job, but just be good at this. There are no limitations, but be responsible. If you do this job, do it good. If you can, just do something else. So it's always, it's all possible.
Well, it's so funny. You answered my next question, which was there any saying
Uh-huh.
that either your mom or somebody else, would used to say that really stuck with you? And, like you said, if you're going to do something, do it right, do it well, do it good, or maybe this isn't for you and move on. And so it sounds like from listening to your story that you were involved first in kind of this business and marketing initially. Yeah. I think that's interesting because I feel like uh, business and marketing is about storytelling, and it's about listening to people and being able to communicate well with them. So I could see where, with that background you have, with that philosophy your grandfather bestowed upon you of do it well, that opened these other doors. And I think we have a really cool picture of that internship you got in the United States. So tell us a little bit more about this. Now, I think you mentioned to me earlier this was in Boston.
True, yeah, that was the Business Accelerator Mass Challenge. I believe that's one of the largest in the US. So they are industry agnostic. They attract the companies from around the world. So you can meet, I don't know, people from Australia, Vietnam, Japan, across the US, European companies. So that's very diverse community, very international one. They attract the companies at the very early stage, and I was in that role responsible for the partnership cooperation. So my first kind of project was to host the Colombian delegation of government officials and startups. And yeah, so I was a newcomer first. At the same time, I had this
And how old
job.
were you? How old were you in that picture?
Let me think. That was probably 2022, something like that. Maybe 20, I don't know, 24, so around this. And so I was a newcomer. I was new to country. I was them, but they treated me as like as a team member. They said, "What's the problem? We are hosting the Colombian delegation. a president is coming, a few government officials, tech startups, mentors, investors. You'll be a leader of this team. You know everything. I said, really? So there was a lot of trust, a lot of responsibility, and a lot of confidence they had in me. They said, yeah, no worries. So you will be a leader of this team. And my job was to host them, to show them around what we have, how the ecosystem works, how all the pieces of this innovative ecosystem works together with the industries like enterprises, how they cooperate with the R&D centers and labs at the universities, how these ventures come from the laboratories to the market, in what are the tools that we have in the country and how we support them, how we fund them, what are the financial opportunities to bring the new ventures to the market through the venture capital funds, business angels community, government support. So yeah, I've learned a lot, and that was absolutely life-changing moment. I met fantastic people from the startups for sure. They're absolutely wonderful entrepreneurs who sacrificed a lot just to come to learn and to bring their ventures. They left probably very comfortable jobs with the very stable salaries, predicted future, and jumped to completely unknown environment without understanding what to wait next. So I have a lot of respect to all these people who try to do something new. So that was my
sound. I was going to say, Yulia, they sound a lot like you because, I mean, you jumped also from, as you said, the fashion world, if you will, to this tech world. I imagine very, very different in the culture. When you think about cross culture, people they think country to country, but, even within a particular market sector, there's going to be subcultures, but certainly with kind of outside of a sector, like the fashion industry and the tech industry have their own distinct cultures, and you've navigated both obviously successfully. So now this was when you were with the Luxembourg VC group. I think we have a picture of that as well. If we could show that, there you are. So tell us about this picture.
So yeah, that was one of the conferences. We delivered some pitches about the tech entrepreneurship, being the advocates of the tech entrepreneurship, and involving the people to try to step in and be part of this. So what I like about dealing with VCs, and now I'm on the other side of a counter. Now I'm not invested, I'm fundraising.
Yes.
So yes. Yeah, that's exciting. So what I like about dealing with the VC world is there's so many wonderful professionals with global perspective, with absolutely amazing background. A lot of people come to VC world having the best of careers, whether it's in enterprises or their own small businesses or in science. Since in order to do some technical due diligence before investing, you have to realize if that's successful or potential successful tech or not, how you will compete, etc., etc. So every day I learn a lot from them, and especially when I worked for the VC, you have different perspective, right? You're looking for those companies who will become unicorns, who will become your champions in your portfolio, because the statistics actually is quite sad. On the one company out of 10 survives, but it takes it all. You just you take this chance, you believe in the team, and that's why it's so this phrase is so famous when you invest not in a company, not in tech, but in people. So even if the tech probably is not perfect, but you have the right team, they will manage this. They will find the right product market fit. They will find the good match for this tech, and yeah. So
it was during that time, because I saw on that picture you were on the stage and there was FIXAR, where you were introduced to this company. So tell me, what made you jump from kind of being on that VC side into the company? Tell me about that.
It was crazy, actually. When I look back, oh my gosh. So we invested in FIXAR, and we started to actually spend a lot of time with the founder, Vasil Feinwaitz, who's the author of all our technologies and CEO. And we are working on IR, investment relations strategy, business development strategy, go-to-market strategy, and all the other pieces of the global strategy of the company, and spent a lot of time together. And at some point he said, look, I'm an engineer and I need a business person to be a partner to drive the company further. So would you like to join me on this journey? And it was like, oh my gosh, that's actually what I always wanted. And I thought that's the wonderful opportunity. Well, first of all, Vasil is a fantastic person. Secondly, we had already at that time a perfect team, very talented engineers. So I wanted to be a part of it because I did my research. I was already partially in this woods, helping the company to make the first steps to the global market. So I already kind of felt myself as a part of it and wanted to have it more. So yeah, so I decided, okay, so we'll take all the responsibility for this together.
Well, that's awesome. And so you became one of the co-founders then, technically, at
Exactly.
that time. Now, what year was this, Yulia?
When?
What year was this?
That was in 2020, right?
2020, right as the world shut down with
Yes,
COVID.
exactly.
So,
So,
wow.
right.
So what a journey, right? Like you're leaving, I would think, a very lucrative and comfortable position that now you've risen to the point, or it sounded like you had, by the way, great bosses over there. And I think, I think we did that picture. We have, no, did we do the picture of you with your group there?
Oh
Or
yeah,
was that, is that a FIXAR group, the other picture?
exactly. Yeah, that's our FIXAR team. Love them all a lot. So actually, you just touched the very sensitive topic about prices. So through all this time, we had crisis after crisis after crisis. So the last one that happened just recently with the Silicon Valley Bank, and we actually started sales right in the beginning of COVID. Can you imagine this terrible situation? So I joined the team. We had completely different plan how we would drive our first sales, how we would deliver our product to our early adopters, how we would
Yes.
collect feedback from them, make the first steps, etc. And then that's the COVID. You can travel, you can't, bring this product, and the drones, they are vehicles, so they require some test drives. And everything, we had a sense that everything was falling apart and nobody knew what to do with this. But even in this situation, we sat down with the team and said, okay, we can't change this. Like, this is the situation we have. Let's find a way how we can do what we can, manage the stuff you can manage, right?
Right.
And we found the way with the online demonstrations. We gave it a try. We said, okay, let's try. We can't just close our everything, right? It's never an
Right.
option. And we started doing the online demonstrations, collecting the first orders, feedbacks, trying to polish our technology and finalize it, etc. Yeah, and then other crisis with the war, and then the Silicon Valley Bank, and then inflation. So, well, I wanted to think about this, answering this question, what happened? Like, life happens. I mean, that's life.
Yeah.
Inside,
Yeah.
you will always face something that you never planned. You just have to be resilient, I would say, and having the right people on your team. You should manage this, right? There is
Yeah.
no any other. Never give up.
No, that well, there goes back to your grandfather, right? Like, do it well, or just don't do it. And, I think one thing that, at least for some of us, right? I mean, it almost sounds like you were so global early in your life, with some of the experiences you were able to have, so many other people are not. And I think COVID, in a weird way, opened up the global commerce in an unprecedented manner. this kind of Zoom culture, right, wrong, or otherwise, it's what people had to do to communicate. But yet it was like, oh, I can talk to somebody in Latvia and it's not an issue. Like whereas maybe they would have never met you, idea of, partnership, because when if you didn't partner, you were home alone in your basement, right, by yourself. So, it was just a weird and different way of partnering. But at some point, the world opened back up, and I know we've got a cool picture of you with one of your drones. I think it's a 007, if I'm right. It's
Right.
okay. And you're in Canada. I
I
love this drone. I love this drone, by the way. So tell us about this picture and when you finally got to get out there.
Oh yeah, actually that was done exactly in the moment when we started doing the online demonstration. So that was the polygon where we were filming actually with our small team in Canada, filming the online demo, showing the software, the design, then virtually bringing our audience, let's say, to the field and showing how to operate the drone from the very beginning. It was actually quite successful webinar, and we still use all these materials since that. And yeah, so it was very, very challenging. Like you said, nobody knew what to do, but you had to do something. Otherwise, you will stuck in your basement totally alone, and probably some mental problems, etc. It never was an option.
So, at some point along the way, you moved to Canada. I think I missed that in our discussion.
Right.
Yeah. Now, was this after you jumped into FIXAR or before?
It was actually quite almost in the same time. So we were moving with my family, with my husband to Canada, and that was in 2018. So I was already working for the Luxembourg Fund out of Canada, and then we invested in FIXAR. So it was like a step-by-step process. And yeah, so actually the fun fact about this, we invested in FIXAR. I was already in Canada, so we never met with my founder in person before. I mean, we made this life-changing decision for both of us without never meeting each other in person. And we started talking to investors, and they always asked us, okay, how you met, guys? We're always like in Zoom. I said, are you crazy? Like, how's that possible? But yeah, that's the COVID time, and I hired all my team virtually and did the onboarding virtually, drafting all the scripts for sales, for the training, all remotely. And then only after 2 years, I believe, we met in person. And yeah, that was a very special moment.
I bet I think your story in that regard is not super unique, especially kids coming out of school, for example, getting those first positions. Like you said, you were hiring people over Zoom, and I think so many folks were having to do things like that just to continue on. Looking back at your career, do you have any advice for to young people that are looking to break into the tech world? I mean, you've been so successful at it, really kind of novel path that you took to get where you are today. Is there anything looking back that you would love to share with folks that are out there from a leadership perspective, and any advice you would give to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think for me, and what I would strongly advise to everyone, is to find something that drives you. So fashion experience, retail experience was great. I loved what I was doing, but then something changed in your life and you are brought to the different domain. And I believe if you find something that really drives you and you have passion about this, you will be successful. At least you will get some, you will get some like motivation out of this and drive. And I also wanted to think that like try to become best, as my granddad said, in what you do, even if it's not your probably dream job yet, but you will bring this experience to your further milestone. So what I like about this current environment, when you like global world, when you can change in the industries from this world to the tech world, from fashion retail to another something. I'm not rejecting everything I have collected or have earned, like skills, network, and something. I'm just bringing all this to my new milestone, and simply connecting the dots brings some new value to my new like customers, partners, investors, and that's the value. So I would suggest not to be scary about this new experience. If you have passion about the new industry, try it out. You can like it.
Well, I love what you said there about not rejecting a past experience, and even if it's not your thing, if not where your passion or where you want to be, you can still learn and bring value forward to whatever it is you ultimately do. I always used to tell people, Yulia, it's just like from a leadership perspective, you can learn from everybody that you meet. You can learn good, you can learn bad, you can learn ugly. And in those last two categories, you just file it away and say, I'm never going to be like that. Like, that's something I'm not going to do. But yet you still learn something, right? Even through that experience. So thanks for sharing that. I love that thought right there. What's been the most challenging thing, would you say, Yulia, being a female co-founder in the tech world? I mean, you kind of alluded to this. I don't know if this is the most challenging thing, but even when you did your internship, you said, or your fellowship, you said you were the only woman there. Um, what would you say is the most challenging thing that you experienced as a woman leader, trying to lead with empathy and partnership, in kind of this global world?
I actually I just remember the funny story of another fantastic female founder. So she's doing completely like hardcore business. She's developing the treatment to clean the pipes. And completely not the female business at all. So at some
Right.
point when she was negotiating the deals and meetings with the European enterprises chief level people to sell this treatment to them and showcase how it works, they always asked her like it sounded like, do you have adults in the room? And at some point she hired actually at those meetings. And during the meetings, they addressed to him, meaning that like he's probably a leader of the company, she's just maybe assistant. But then when she started pitching them and explaining all the chemistry behind this product and everything, how it works, etc., everything like became came to the right the direction. But that was fun actually. That shows me that you just prove yourself that you have all the knowledge, all the competences to do this job, to be where you are, to lead the way you see this, and make yourself proud of what you do first, and then you will see how you are respected, how everyone takes you seriously, and yeah. So I believe that's the core thing. Also about the female leadership, I would say that we still, as the message I started with, we still see a lack of the females in the tech world. So I would like that the founders of the companies would be more open to hire women to join their teams in STEM, in engineering fields, in piloting. By the way, we have a fantastic female in our team. She's the head of the demo engineers, and she's in Latvian national team of the different air modeling competitions. She's also actually one of the judges. She was invited by the AUVSI to judge some competitions. She's very young, she's so successful, she's fantastic. And everywhere I go in our drone space to attend different conferences, when they see FIXAR, a lot of the people reach out to me and say, please give our regards to Karina, because everyone knows her.
Oh, that's so
So
cool.
fantastic. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to it. You didn't say these words, but when I asked you about the challenges that you faced as a female or that you're seeing female leaders face, I'm just going to say it, and I know I'll get spears for this, but I don't care. This idea of bias, right? Because, for this person to, show up at a meeting and then have a male colleague with her, and then everybody be addressing that male colleague like he's in charge, even though she was the leader. I think we've all seen it. I know I've seen it, like when I drive through the gate at military bases, right? I'm the retired colonel. My husband's in the car. Granted, he looks like a Marine. He's got the shaved head and he's very fit, but they salute him. Like once I was no longer in uniform and I was just
Yeah.
in the car, they see the two of us and the assumption is, oh, the guy has to be the military member. He must be, right, the colonel or whatever. So, but I agree with you. I think once, people hear you, they realize the competency that you bring, then you can overcome these challenges. And it also sounds like a challenge that you're facing in the tech world is not having a lot of other women to hire, to work with. I love that you're making a deliberate effort because, frankly, it takes that. You have to find these diamonds and these gems that are out there that nobody knows are even out there. And so, Yulia, that's why I love that you're on the show because we've been doing this show since last year. I'm going to say around June we started the full tilt and full crew series. You are number 4. You are the 4th woman I've had on this show, and I've been like begging. I'm just like, where are the women leaders in tech to be on this show? Because again, to give that other perspective, to give another perspective, I think is really, really critical. So we are, as always, time is flying. And, you mentioned you have a husband. Somewhere along the way, you met him and married him and took him to Canada. So tell me a little bit, if you're comfortable, tell me a little bit about balance in your life. Because look, you're hard charging, you're now trying to do a fundraise in the midst of, well, it was first COVID and then, inflation and then this last SVC bank collapse, which I think we're still not sure how that's going to impact so many tech companies right now. But in the midst of all this, you have a life, presumably. And how do you do that? Like, what are your tips, or what is your advice about balance in your life?
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, see?
That's not easy. So I can't say that I have a perfect balance in my life, but at the same time, I enjoy what I have. So even if it's not the very, very perfect balance, well, first of all, I have a few like rules in my life. They work well for me just to, to stay tuned, to stay in good health, and to handle between 6 and 10 meetings every day. I walk a lot. I try to walk between like 8 and 10 kilometers every day. Just put some podcasts like yours or audiobooks, just to fresh up the mind. Despite the weather, just go outside, get some fresh air.
So is that a rule? Like you said, you had rules. I want to know Yulia's rules for balance.
Yeah. So the first one, go outside, get some fresh air, walk a little bit, at least walk if you're not in the fit for some workouts, just walk a little bit, just at least. And then I try to spend my weekends with my family, with my friends. And drink pretty much a lot of water just to keep good health. Exactly. Yeah. Cheers. So, but and sleep, actually, sleep is critical. So if you have enough sleep, you will be good. Just don't try to replace sleep with some I don't know, new pitch deck or some more meetings that will not bring that efficiency. Put everything on pause, sleep a little bit, you will feel much better, you will get more results. So that's a few very basic rules. that keep driving all this forward. Yeah, so just a little bit.
No, I love those rules. There are little things, even like just, drink water throughout the day, that makes such a difference. I mean, if you're not doing things like this, you're not taking care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're not good to anybody else. That's the bottom line, whether it's your family, whether it's your team, your customers, clients, it just doesn't matter. So we are getting super close to the end here, which is, I knew this was going to happen. We do a little lightning round at the end here, Yulia, that I want to take a minute or two to make sure we fit in. And it's 3 questions I ask pretty rapidly. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Number 1, what's your favorite book?
Oh, about leadership or like
It
random?
can be about anything. Any favorite book, doesn't matter. No constraints.
Oh, okay. So speaking about leadership, so I guess everyone knows Sheryl Sandberg. Well, she's the best. And I read her book in a while ago, I guess, when it was issued. If anyone missed it, I strongly recommend not every female, but actually males only should read it because it has a lot in it. So it's a fantastic book. The another one I liked a lot, it's completely outside of leadership, but it brings different perspective on how the world actually runs and how to analyze this big data and how to see the big picture if you're stuck on something. That's the book Factfulness. I can't come up with the author right now, but I will Google it for you. So Factfulness, it's written by scientist from Netherlands, and it's about how to analyze the big data and how to actually make the how to come with the right conclusions when you're surrounded with a lot of the different numbers, a lot of the different trends, how to really figure out what's going on and where to channel all your efforts, let's say in business, let's say how to realize what's right or what's wrong. So it's split to a few chapters, and yeah, that's fantastic, absolutely fantastic piece. I believe everyone will like it.
Well, that sounds like something we all need, honestly. And then number 2, who's your hero?
Oh, well, definitely my mom. She's my main investor. She's my everything, everyone. Yeah, she means a lot for me, and everything I have and where I am, I owe to her for sure. And actually, I would also mention one more person in my life. She's my former manager, and now she's my close friend and mentor. Somewhere at my age, she ran the urban development company. She was probably the only female in the urban development in that company, because that company was full of engineers, and she did great changes and great success at that business. So she inspires me. She supports me throughout all my career. So yeah.
I don't know if you want to share her name or not, but
Elena, yeah, sure, Elena, and she's the best.
Yelena, okay, awesome. And then last but not least, we are at time. It's perfect timing. What is one leadership tip that you learned along the way that you would like to pass along to others?
Never go alone. Take a partner. Take a partner. Partnership is the foundation of your success.
Awesome. And that dovetails right back into your theme. So perfect circular segue back to the beginning of this show, and women leadership, leading with empathy and partnership and cross-culturally. So thank you so much, Yulia, for taking this time. It's so great to see you from across the globe here. And I look forward to seeing you again in person with the 007 and your other amazing FIXAR drones at the next show. Where will we see you again? Will you be at AUVSI Exponential?
AUVSI in Denver, and then CanSec in Ottawa. Yeah.
Yay! All right, so everybody, mark your calendars now. You get to meet this incredible lady in person. And thank you so much for taking the time here. Everybody, we are out here. Bye.